Well, welcome again to our reading of the Greek New Testament. We're reading Luke's Gospel, chapter 15, and we're up to the fairly long pericope of the parable of the lost son in 15, beginning at verse 11. Aipender anthropos tis eken duo huius. And he said, a certain man had 2 sons. Now, by the way, this pericope is only in Luke, it's not in the other Gospels, and it fits in with the theme of this chapter, which is all about things which are lost. Kai apen hot neoteros auton to patri pater dosmoi to epibalon meros tes ousias. And the younger one, this is from neos, young, and this is the comparative, neoteros. So the younger one said, the younger one of them said to the father, the younger one said to their father, the outone being because of the 2 sons. Just a minor point of grammar here. This is from neos, as I mentioned, it's a comparative, and you either get oteros or oteros. And the fact that the syllable just before that vowel there, epsilon, is short, means that you have a long O, oteros. If this had been a long vowel or diphthong, then you would get an oteros, a short O here. Just a minor little point of the grammar. So the younger one of them said to the father, Father, dosmoi, give to me. To epibalon is a neuter participle being used with to. So epibalo is to fall upon. We would say falls to me. And meros, a portion of the ousias. Now the ousia is formed from the verb to be. It's from the participle, from the verb to be, on, ousa, on. And it's feminine here, and it refers to that which exists, and hence property. And that's the meaning here. So it's that portion of the property, the one falling to me. So in other words, give me the portion of your property that falls to me. So the top actually is going with the meros, and that's being the participles being used adverbially here. Like an adjective here. So the part falling to me of your possessions, give it, hand it over. Ho de di halon autois ton bion. And he divided for them the bios. Bios is life, but it can also mean livelihood. And that's what it is here. So he divided his possessions, basically. The dihalon is from dihyrio, and then the aorist of hyrio is halon. It's an irregular verb. So he distributed to them his bios, his possessions, his livelihood, all that he had. Kai amet ou polos hemeras sun agagon panta honioteros huios apodemesin es koran makran. Kai eke diascorpisen tein ousian aututson asotos. And after not many days, the youngest son, having gathered up all things, all his possessions, he went abroad. This is apodamio. It's to go away from your demos, from your people. And apodamios is the standard word in Greek, in classical Greek as well, simply meaning to leave the country, to go abroad. So he went abroad into a far land, kai eke, and there, this is from diascorpizdo, literally he scattered about. So he wasted here his ousian, his possession. It's singular, but we would say possessions in English. Sown, living, this is a participle from tsao, and we get this adverb asotos. We often translate this as dissolutely or loosely. This adverb only here in the New Testament, and it's coming from alpha privative plus sozo. Now sozo means to save, of course, but it has a slightly wider range of meanings. It's without keeping any of it safe. So hence loosely or dissolutely, that often translated for this strange word, but it's connected with sozo, not keeping it, not looking after it, not keeping it safe. Dapon ne santos de autu Panta geneto limos iskura kataten korene kenen kai autos axato husteresthai. Now we get a genitive absolute from dapanao is the verb. It's an alpha contract verb. We get an aorist participle here in the genitive. Dapanao is to spend. And when he had spent panta everything, egineto, there was a limos, an iskura limos, a strong famine. Now you notice this is got a feminine ending because limos is a second declension feminine noun. So it's he limos, and hence you've got iskura feminine here. So there was a strong or a very intense famine, katatan, upon that land, and he himself began, from Archimai, husteresthai, well, to be in need, to husteros, to be in need of something, to lack something, so to be in want, so to be in need here. Kai paruthes ekolethe heniton polyton tes chores acanes, kai pemse auton es tus agrus autu boscain koirus. And having gone, this is from kolao, it's an alpha contract verb. We get our word collage, I think, connected with this. It literally means to glue, but it's got the sense of to attach oneself. And it's an aorist passive here, so he was attached to one of the citizens of that land, and he sent him into his fields. That is this is the citizen, the owner of the land, sent him into his fields, boscain, to tend, from bosco, koirus, the pigs, the swine, kai epithume kor testenai ekton kuration hon aestheon hoi koiroi, kai udes edidu auto. And he desired, from epithumio, it's an epsilon contract verb, so it's an imperfect, so he was desirous, and we get contracts here, so it's epithumeo. He was desirous, koitasthenai, to be satisfied, from kortasdo. This is the aorist infinitive. He was desirous to be satisfied from the keration. Now this is from keration, neuter noun, meaning the pod of the carob. It's the things the pigs eat. So from the it's literally the carob pods, of which the pigs used to eat, imperfect from estheo. Kai udes edidu auto, and no one was giving it auto to him. Asiauton de elthon fa, posoi mistheoi tu patros mu perisuontai arton, ego de limor hodi apollumai. Literally, having come into himself. Well, it's like our modern idiom, to come to yourself, to wake up to yourself. So we would say in English, having woken up to himself, but the Greek just says having come to himself, or come to his senses, we'd say in English. Fa, he said, posoi, how many mistheoi, how many hired workers of my father, perisuontai, have an abundance of bread. From perisuo, I abound. So how many of the hired hands of my father have an abundance of bread, literally of loaves of bread, from artos. but I am perishing here, limo, by famine, or perhaps by hunger. Anastas porusomai, future, proston pateramu kai eroauto, pater hematon es ton uranon kai enopion su. Might as well continue the next bit. Uketi ami axios klethenai huios su. Poieson me hos hena ton mistheon su. So having arisen, I will go to my father. Kai ero, future from Lego, I will say to him, Pater, O father, hematon, aorist from hamartano, I have sinned with respect to heaven and before you. Uketiami, I am no longer axios worthy, klethenai, aorist passive infinitive, to be called your son. Literally make, or this poio can often mean the sense of treat. So treat me as one of your hired servants. And anastas, treat me as one of your hired servants. Kai anastas elten prosten pater hiautu, etida autu makran pekon tos aiden auton hopate autu, kai es blankniste, kai dramon epipesen epiton trakelon autu, kai etophiles and auton. And having arisen, having got up, he went to his father. Notice we get the proper reflexive here. Luke's generally quite good with his grammar. You often don't get the reflexive in biblical Greek, but Luke is doing it properly. So having got up, he went to his father. Now we get a genitive absolute here with autu and ap ekontos. Ap eke can be used impersonally. It is distant from. And this is what it is here, the use of ap echo being distant from. So, and it's while he was distant still, makran, you've got to supply hodon here or something, a long distance, a long way. So while he was still a long way off, we would say, Adon, his father saw him, so the father of him saw out on him, Kai, he was moved to pity from splanknisdamai. Kai dramon, this is the aorist participle from trecho is the verb. This is irregular. It takes its aorist from a different root. So it's trecho, I run. Dramumai is the future, and edramon is the aorist, and the stem of that one is dram. And so it's connected with words like dromio, to run. We get aerodrome and so on. So it's having run. Epesen, literally he fell upon, so perhaps embraced, he fell upon the tracheilon autu, his neck, trachelos is a neck, kai kataphiles sen auton, and he kissed him, in kataphilio. Apende hopios autu pate hematon eston ornon kai enopion su, uketiemi axios klethena bios su. So the son said to him, O father, vocative, I have sinned with regard to heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy, klethenai, to be called your son. Apen de hopate prostus doulos autu, and the father said to his servants, to his doulos, Taku ex enenkati stolane ten protein, kai endusiti auton, kai doti dactulion es ten kera autu, kai hypodemeter es tus podas. So his father said to his servants, quickly, this is an adverb here from Tacus. This is a neuter adverb, and it's often neuter form, and so it's often used adverbially. So quickly, this is from ek phero. It's an aorist imperative. Should be strong, but it's weak here. So bring out literally the first stole. Well, it's something like the protein means the best one, the first one, the best one in the house. So bring out a cape or coat, the best one in the house, kai induce it out on, and put it on him. Kai doti dactylion. Now, don't confuse this with dactylos, which is a finger, and dactylion, with a little epsilon and its second declension neuter, means a ring, thing that goes on your dactylos. And give him give a ring for his finger, for his hand, I should say. Kai upodemeter, and sandals for his feet. Kai ferete ton moskon ton situton, thusiti kai fagontes euphronthomin. Hoti hutos hopios mu nekros ein kai an edzesen, hen apollolos kai hurethe, kai exanta euphronesthai. So, fereti, again imperative, bring. The moskos is the calf, and the situton, fairly rare word. It means fattened. It's sitos is food or grain, and situtos becomes an adjective here, the one that's been given lots of food, and so fattened. So bring out the fattened calf. Thusati, again another imperative, sacrifice it, and having eaten, aorist participle from esthio, euphrinothen. This is from euphrino with an iota in here, you get a vowel gradation. It means to make your brain, your mind, well, happy. So, and this is a hortatory subjunctive, so let us make merry, it's often translated. It means to make yourself very happy. So let us make merry. Hoti, because this my son was necros, was dead, kai an edsesen, from anatsao, to recover, normally, to come back to life again. He was, now here's this perfect participle again from apolumi, but this time it's masculine, so we get this kos quia kos, and we're getting the kos, but because of the liquid letter lambda, we don't get the kappa. So here, this is really a pluperfect periphrastic form here. He had been lost, and he has been found. Heurethe, aorist passive from heurisco, and they began euphrinesthai, and there's the present infinitive with the frine ending, with the frine vowel. So they began to make merry, to rejoice, to celebrate, perhaps. Although that's not really quite the meaning of this. It's to have a happy mind, a frame. Ein de hopios autu hoi presbyteros in agro. Kai hos ecominos enkisen to oikia, ekusen symphonias kai koron. And his eldest son, so his son, the one being the elder, presbyteros, another comparative, was in agro, in the field. And hos ekomenos, literally as coming, so when he was coming, to hos here in the sense of when, I think. So when coming, he drew near to the house from Engizdo. He heard symphonias. Well, this is a lovely word. We get our word symphony, of course, from this, but it just means music, I think. It's things which sound nicely understood together, things which sound together, so just music. And koron is from koros, of dance, so dancing. So he heard music and dancing. Kai pros kalisamenos enoton paidon, epunthanati tian ai tauta, and having called to one of the paidon, this is the servants, not children here, but servants, Epunthanecha. This is from punthanamai. The root of this is puth, p, pi, upsilon, theta. So punthanamai is to inquire. So he inquired. Now we get a good use of the optative here. The AA is the optative from the verb to be. So this is it's a question in reported speech after past sequence, after a past tense. And in classical Greek, if you're doing a question in reported speech in past tense, past sequence, you put the verb into the optative, which is exactly what Luke does here. He's one of the correct usages of the optative. You don't see that terribly often in the New Testament, but you will see it in Luke. So he inquired as to what these things might be. Neuter plural singular verb. And we get it with arn, the optative with arn. So he inquired as to what these things might be. In other words, what was going on. Hote apen auto, and he said to him, hote inverted commas here, your brother Heike has come, kai ethusen hopate su ton mosgon ton situton, and your father has sacrificed this is the cow. It's a female cow. It's the calf. Sorry, is the word I was looking for. So your father has sacrificed the fatted calf. It's a young cow. Hoti hugi einonta auton apeleben, because he has received back him, that is your brother, hugi einonta, participle from hugi eino, you know, word hygiene from this, well, safe and well, we'd say. Orgisthe from orgisdomai, which generally goes into the passive in the past tense here. De kai uk eithelen eselthen. Hodipata auto exelthen parakaleauton. And he was angry and he did not wish to go in, to enter in. But his father, having come out, he called after him, parakeleauton, or perhaps encouraged him, or almost called after him. And he, apokrithes apenta patriautu, he having answered, he said to his father, Idu, tos auta ete duluo soi, kai u depoti entolen su parelthon, kai emu u depoti edokas erifon, hina metaton philon mu euphranzo. And he having answered, he said to his father, Behold, tos auta ete. This is neuter here. This is neuter plural from to etos, third declension. So for how many years? So for so many years, I have been slave to you, I have served you, and never paralthon have I, well, it's gone beside or gone against, perhaps, entole your command. So I have never transgressed your commandment. And udepoti, not ever did you give emoi to me. Eriphos is a kid, baby goat, and kid hina, in order that euphranto is an aorist. It's from euphrino, and it goes into the passive. It's euphrinomai, goes into the passive. This is an aorist passive subjunctive here after hina, in order that I might make merry with my friends. Hoti de hopios su hutos ho kataphagon su ton bion metapornon aelthin ethusas auto tot situton moskon. But when your son, this one, the kataphagon, the glutton, so this is from katesthio, the devourer, the one who's devoured. Not glutton here, but the one who has devoured your livelihood, that is your share of the possessions, your livelihood. He's kataphagon, he's devoured them. with porno, with prostitutes. When he came, you sacrificed for him the fatted calf. Horeapen auto technon u pantoti metemu kai pantata emassa estin. And he said to him, my son, you are pantoti always met emu with me, and all things which are mine are yours. Neuter plural singular verb. So all the things that are mine are yours. We get the personal adjective here, the possessive adjective I should say, possessive adjective emos and sos. You franthenai de kai karenai ede. It is necessary to make merry and to rejoice. Hoti, Adelphos, because your brother, this one, Nekrosein, was dead, kai etsesen, and is alive. Kai apollolos, that's that perfect participle again, again with ain, perhaps had been lost and has been found, from Hurisco. And that's the end of chapter 15.